Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a review, plus I have a delicious recipe for you guys as well. So to get started, I am going to tell you guys a little bit about this electric skillet and grill. So first thing, you can see the lid is glass. It's nice because it's easy, so you can see when your food is cooking. I really like that. And it have this deep pot, which is so nice to make any stews, which is what I'm going to be using today actually. And they have the grill plate, which is really nice around this time of the year since I live here in North Dakota where it's super cold, so I can make some burgers indoors. And it have the heating plates, and it have the thermostat knobs, and of course the on indicator button, and of course the plug. Okay, really simple, really easy. I can't wait to use this. I can't wait to show you guys what I'm about to make in this. But if you are interested in this electric skillet, go ahead and check that description box where I will list some coupons for you guys. Again, a big thank you to CalmDo for always helping us in our kitchen. So you guys make sure you check them out. Like I said, stay tuned so you can see the recipe we are going to be doing using this electric skillet. So for today's recipe, we are going to be making a nice juicy Salisbury steak in some beautiful mushroom sauce and onions. So for this, you are going to be needing 1 chopped onions. I have about 8 ounces of chopped cremini mushrooms, and I have 2 teaspoons of chopped garlic, and I have half a cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using the Italian breadcrumbs, and I have 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and I have some onion powder, garlic powder, and I have some beef broth that I'll be using. You can use chicken broth if you have that also. I normally like to use mustard powder, but unfortunately I don't have any, so I'm using just a regular mustard. But if you have the powder, you can use that instead. And I like to use a little red wine in mine. If you have regular red wine, drinking wine, you can use that. Salt and pepper to taste, and some olive oil. Not sure if I already mentioned the butter, but you're going to be needing some butter. And I have some ground beef I'll be using. This is about a 4-pound ground beef. I'll be using half of that, so about 2 pounds of meat. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to check the description box where I will list everything I used in this video. So let's get cooking, guys. All right, guys, so I decided to use a little more than just 2 pounds of my meat. This is about 3.5 pounds. I just thought if I had leftovers, that would be great for the kids. And I think I forgot to mention, we are going to be using some Worcestershire sauce. And I am going to be using about 2 teaspoons of that, or maybe a little more, 2 to 2.5 teaspoons. I know I didn't measure, and I am going to go in with about 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Go ahead and use your measurements if you are going to measure, and about 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, and also 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. Again, you can use a measuring cup to measure, and I am going to sprinkle about a teaspoon of salt just so we can get some flavor. Matter of fact, let me grab some of my Haitian green seasoning. I don't mind adding a little bit of that to this, so I'm going to grab about 1 tablespoon of that. If you guys don't know how to make that, go ahead and check the card that just came up so you guys can see how I make that green seasoning. So let me grab it real quick. All right, here it is. I feel like this brings so much flavor to anything that I cook in my kitchen. Okay, just mix everything. Make sure every piece of that meat is coated. I want to make sure I do that before I add that, I can't think of the name, breadcrumbs And I am just going to sprinkle in the breadcrumbs. I may not use all of the breadcrumbs. We'll see. This was about half a cup. I may only use 1/4 cup of the breadcrumbs because I don't want it to take away from my ground beef too much. I just want something to hold it together. And I can't believe I totally forgot to tell you guys about the eggs, because that's what's gonna give it that nice watery-ish for the breadcrumbs to hold on to. So let me grab my eggs real quick. All right, I got my eggs, 2 beaten eggs. Just throw it right in there again with our hands again. You know, there's some things I make at my house so often, and sometimes because I haven't made some of these recipes for you guys, but we do make them often. Sometimes I tend to forget to put out the stuff that I need, which is crazy because I don't know, I just naturally just know what I need. It's one of them things. Plus, it's like really cold in North Dakota right now. Currently, it is minus 19 degrees, but it feels like minus 40 degrees. So you can be the judge of how I'm feeling right now. It's crazy cold. I know I'll be staying indoors for Valentine's Day. I'll be cooking for my boys. And as you can see, I use all of the breadcrumbs, so half a cup of the breadcrumbs, and just mix everything really nice together. Definitely looks so much better once I added the eggs, which I would have known I was missing something. Like I said, I do make this at home. This used to be my old back in the daytime recipe. Just mix everything. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so you can get notified every time we upload a video. Thank you in advance and welcome to the channel. So now I'm going to make some patties. Just form some patties as if you're making hamburgers. Roll them to form them nicely and then just pat them down. Okay, I'm going to make about 8 of these, I hope. Most of you know I have 3 boys, and let me tell you, honey, boys can eat, plus my husband, so that should tell y'all. So just like that, I'm going to form them, place them in a plate. So I'm going to continue to do that, then we can come back and start putting everything together. All right, guys, so the skillet itself have a off, of course, warm, low, and high setting. I am going to be using the high setting. I am going to put a couple teaspoons of olive oil into that pan just because I don't want anything sticking, and just spread it out. Okay, and this is a non-stick as well. And now I'm going to take my meat and just place them down. I want them to sear first before we put them into the sauce that we are going to make after they browned up. Okay, I'm going to do about 4. I did made about 7 patties out of my meat. So I'm going to allow them to get a nice golden brown, a nice crispy on the outside, but still moist on the outside before we take them out. Okay, guys, as you can see, I already flipped some. You can see that gorgeous golden brown that skillet gives you. It's pretty nice in my opinion. I haven't owned an iron skillet for so many years, so I was so excited when they sent me this, and it does not hurt that it's a really good one. I love that it included that grill, so I can do my little grilling inside during this winter cold month. Okay, and you can see my hamburger meats are nice and brown. I'm going to go ahead and remove this set and get the rest browned up before we start making our delicious sauce. All right, now that my meat is done, I'm going to remove some of the oil, not all. And as you can see, that skillet handle is not hot. It is nice and cool for me to hold. I'm going to remove some of the oil, but like I said, not all. And to that now, I am going to go ahead and dump in my onions and let them saute for a few minutes before we add that mushroom. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my mushroom. That's actually lots of mushrooms, even though, oh, I'll add them all. 8 ounces of mushrooms, because I know they are going to shrink down a little bit. So I am going to saute this until my mushrooms are nice and beautiful. Now I'm going in with 4 tablespoons of butter. This is salted butter. I did saute that mushroom and onion for about 8 minutes. And now to that, I'm going to go in with that garlic and let that saute also for a good 5 minutes. And now I am going to go in with that flour. This is what's going to thicken up the sauce for us. Okay, make sure you use a whisk to whisk it in. I'm going to put all that half cup. This is why I use that 4 tablespoons of butter, because I want to make sure there's enough butter in there for that flour. And let that cook for about 2 minutes, because we don't want raw flour in this. I am loving this skillet, guys. I'm telling you, you guys know I be honest with these reviews. I am just loving it. Really making easy cleaning for me tonight. So allow it to cook for a few more minutes. Now I'm going to take that red cooking wine. Again, if you have regular red wine, I can't speak today, you can use that. Okay, anything you can drink, you can use about 1/4 cup of that. Just mix everything. And now I am going to take that beef stock and put in there. Yes, the beef stock is cold. If you want to warm it up, you can warm it up if you want. And I am going to put a couple cups, just because I want a lot of gravy. Okay. Just mix everything so the flour is not lumpy. And allow it to come to a simmer. Once it starts simmering, then we are going to go ahead and start seasoning it up. Okay, so now I want to add about a teaspoon of mustard and salt. Of course, always remember to taste your food. Okay. I'm going to go in with more black pepper and stir everything up. As you can see, it start to thicken up. Stir everything up just like that. And I am going to allow it to simmer, even though I will still keep that temperature at high. I'm going to allow it to kind of cook down a little bit before we add our meat. Of course, taste. Tastes really good. That red wine give it a nice little kick. All right, let it simmer for a few minutes before we add that meat. Okay, now you can turn down that heat to low so it can actually simmer. And I am just adding the meat. This will go so good with some white rice or even some mashed potatoes. That's what I'm going to eat mine with, some mashed potatoes and green beans. As you guys can see, it is a small skillet, but it's also big enough to fit 7 hamburger. Ooh, look at that. I was about to put that paper in my dang food. it holds 7 hamburger patties. So it's not too bad, really. And that gravy is so thick. I love it. And I am going to let this simmer for at least 20 minutes. All right, guys, the recipe is done. As you can see, it looks so good. But one thing I must say, guys, if you don't have regular red drinking wine, if you don't like that acidity from that red cooking wine, you can leave that out because it does have a different type of flavor from our regular red drinking wine, which is what I normally would use. But because I don't have any on hand, that's why I use this. I don't mind that strong acidity, but if you mind it, you can definitely leave that left out. Again, I had mentioned that I made some mashed potatoes, which I do have all those recipes up in this channel, and I have some sauteed green beans. So I am going to take a piece of that meat. This is just like a classic Salisbury steak. Okay, you need that green from the green beans, and of course your mashed potatoes, and just drop that gravy all over. Look at that. If this don't scream comfort food or even Valentine's food, I don't know what does. So make this for your bae this Sunday and let me know what he thinks. And I just have some fresh parsley that I am just going to sprinkle on top. Okay, this is it right here, guys. Look how good that looks. And this will do it for this video. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. Again, don't forget to visit Amazon or the website for CalmDo to get your skillet. Okay? Continue to stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned for the pictures at the end. Bye-bye.